Ahoj, tady je Marcel z Mix Sports Media a MMA Shorties a tohle je vaše zkratka do světa MMA. A dneska tady mám legendu MMA, Randy Couture. Hey Randy, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
What are you up to these days, Randy?
Still chasing films, making movies mostly. Yeah.
Are you still watching UFC? Do you have time to watch the fights, MMA?
If one of the guys from Extreme Couture is fighting, then I'm going to tune in for a UFC or a Bellator or a PFL or one of the other shows that so many of our team are fighting in. So it's great.
What is your hobbies outside of the MMA that fans doesn't know?
I'm an avid outdoorsman. I have been since I was 6. I used to go hunting with my father, and so if I get a chance, I like to go hiking, camping, hunting, be out in the outdoors for sure.
What do you think about the last fight with Francis Ngannou and the problem with the UFC?
It's a typical problem. Obviously, I had a lot of the same issues myself. I feel like the fighters are not being fairly treated and fairly paid compared to the promoters, and I think this is a big issue. And one of the things we're trying to do to rectify that is get the Muhammad Ali Act amended to cover and create transparency for all combative sports athletes, and I think that would take care of a lot of the issues. And we're one of the few sports in professional athletics where only about 15% of the revenue that comes in from an event goes to the actual athletes that fight on those cards. That's unacceptable in my opinion. So I think Francis and Jake Paul and some of these guys are shining a light on the disparaging difference in the pay, the ancillary rights, and some of the other issues that we face as mixed martial artists in the sport.
How was the recording the Expendables 4?
It was a blast. Had a great time. We filmed in London, Bulgaria, and Greece. We just finished about the 4th of December this last year. So it'll probably be a year at least in post-production before we'll get to see the finished product. But some great new additions in 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Andy Garcia. It was a great experience. Obviously, Stallone is back, and Statham and myself and Dolph Lundgren, kind of the only 4 holdouts from the original crew. So yeah, it was a great experience though. I think it's going to be a good one. I think you guys are going to like it.
What is in the near future for you, Randy?
Getting ready next week. I'll be in Orlando working for the PFL. They've started a Challenger Series where this will be our 4th fight in the Challenger Series for this new season, a new addition to the Professional Fighters League. So I'm excited. They're moving me from the broadcast booth for the Challenger Series to the judges' seat. So I'm going to have to judge which of these 4 fighters who win their fights on that night get a contract with the PFL. So it's a lot of pressure. It's going to be interesting. I'm not a terribly critical person, and obviously I'm going to have to be critical of some of these fighters and distinguish some of them from the others, which isn't easy for me to do. So
I just heard that your son is in charge of your gym.
That's right. I signed Extreme Couture over to Ryan. Ryan's running the gym now. He's doing a great job with Eric Nixick and Dennis Davis and the whole cast of guys and gals in there that just do a fantastic job in creating that home for our athletes in MMA.
What is the most memorable fight, the memories that you have?
Well, 15 years ago today, I fought here in Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio against Tim Sylvia at 43, almost 44 years old for the heavyweight championship. It was the biggest crowd in North America at that time. I will never forget that fight. It's one of my favorite fights.
What is your thoughts on Jiří Procházka? Do you like the fight style?
I haven't seen him much. Yeah, I'll have to look him up because I haven't seen him much.
He's like a new sensation, to Czech Republic.
Yeah, a lot of great combative sports athletes in Czech Republic. I actually worked there a couple years ago in Prague. That's one of my favorite cities. Amazing that all the churches and all the history is still standing there, and it's a great place. I worked on a movie called Alpha Code there, and had a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of the sites. I wrestled in Prague back in the '95 World Championships in Prague, but of course I was competing, so I didn't get to spend any time seeing the amazing city and enjoying the food and the Czech people. So it was nice to be there in a film and have some downtime. I stayed in an old monastery, we stayed in an old castle, we went to the Bone Church, we went all over the place and really had a great experience there.
You're a champion in 2 different divisions. What is you think about the thoughts that everybody chasing that right now? Everybody wants to be champions in 2 different divisions.
Why not? I was obviously a small heavyweight, walking around at about 220 pounds, so making 205 wasn't a big cut for me, and fighting guys my own size, not having to deal with guys like Stipe that are that damn big. But I started in the heavyweight division because that's all there was back then. It was only heavyweights, and our first show with Frank Shamrock, he was one of the first. They called it lightweights, anybody under 200 pounds. So it was just part of the evolution of the sport and my own evolution. You know, the guys got bigger and better at some point. It made more sense for me to go down to 205, and then I got better and realized how to navigate around those bigger guys. So went back up to heavyweight and fought a little more at heavyweight. But you know, I love the sport.
Thank you, Randy. That's it from the International Sports of Fame with Randy Couture.